Welcome to Tween Talk, a place for moms of tweens to get a quick dose of encouragement and one actionable tip that you can use to get a win today. Hi, I'm Marina Gabor, founder of the Tween Talk, Empowering Moms to Raise Independent Kids Facebook group. So glad you're here today. Now, open communication can sometimes be confused with permissive parenting, where you allow anything. In fact, open communication emphasizes a balance between warmth, support, and clear boundaries, whereas permissive parenting lacks those boundaries, lacks discipline, lacks structure. Now, you don't have to have a perfect relationship with your tween to foster open communication, and it will work regardless of your relationship style and your parenting style. Unfortunately, it all starts with listening. And I say unfortunately because listening is hard, and especially hard when you are a parent who has a lot of advice to share. Now, I've got three things that we can chat about here. Number one, listen to understand. So if we take a minute to hear what our tweens are actually saying, if we ask clarifying questions, and when you ask the clarifying question, I know from personal experience, I need to figure out what tone am I using so that it doesn't come across like I think they're silly or accusatory or anything like that. Just keep it super neutral. And then we want to listen for meaning. What are they actually saying? For example, if your tween desperately wants to go to a sleepover and you're not a sleepover kind of family, let them tell you all the details. Why should they do this? All of the stuff. Ask questions to find out the why. Now, don't ask why because they don't actually know. But if you're asking some clarifying questions, you can get to the heart of the matter, and perhaps you can figure out another way that they can get that need met that they thought was going to get met by going to that sleepover. They can get it met in a way that you feel is more appropriate for your family values. Second thing, ask what they need from you. Now, I feel guilty even saying this because I'm pointing fingers at myself going, yes, Marina, you need to do this too. Sometimes our tweens, they need, a listening ear to help them process thoughts. Sometimes they need to vent. Other times, occasionally, they're actually looking for advice. Now, if you're like me and you're like, right in there with the advice, take a breath. Listen to what they have to say, bite their tongue. Sometimes actually look at the clock and go, no, they haven't been talking forever. They've been talking for like 30 seconds. It's okay. Take a breath, listen to what they have to say. And then ask, would you like my advice? Sometimes they'll surprise you and say yes. And take it, give your advice, and move on from there. Now, the third thing with open communication and creating that environment where your tween feels comfortable talking to you, remember, listening does not equal agreeing. Listening does not equal agreeing. When I first started intentionally listening to my daughters, I thought, if I don't jump in and say things, they're going to think I agree with what they're saying, even though I don't. It's not true. A funny thing happened. The more I actively listened, the more they felt heard, and the more they felt heard, the more they asked for my advice. It's kind of crazy. So here's a quick win for the day. When your tween talks, ask a clarifying question, and then let them keep talking. And if they're talking about a problem, ask if they'd like your advice. And if not, continue to actively listen. That's open communication. They can talk to you about anything. You're building trust, one conversation at a time. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Tween Talk today. I hope you were encouraged and that you're ready to go and claim your one win for today, hopefully you'll have more than one win today, but you can claim this quick win. Start fostering that open communication. Actively listen. Ask if what they need from you. And remember, just because you're listening doesn't mean you agree with everything. Till next time.